every time Leonardo DiCaprio steps into a new relationship, the world seems to pause and watch. His career may have earned him Oscars and global respect, but it's his love life that always sparks the loudest conversations. Now, at 50 years old, DiCaprio has been linked to Italian supermodel Vittoria Ceretti, and what might look like simple celebrity gossip on the surface has turned into something far bigger. Their romance hasn't just made headlines, it has reignited a cultural debate about age gaps, power, choice, and the way we view relationships in the spotlight.
Signing autographs, surrounded by screaming fans.
Excited about this thing.
So who exactly is Vittoria? And how did she move from the Milan runway to becoming DiCaprio's headline-making partner? Why has this relationship, out of all his past ones, created such a mix of fascination, criticism, and endless memes? And most importantly, what does it say about the long-standing pattern that has defined Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history for more than 2 decades? Vittoria Ceretti's story begins far from Hollywood. Born on June 7, 1998, in the northern Italian city of Brescia, her path into fashion started almost by chance. At just 14, she entered the elite model look competition, a scouting ground that has launched some of the biggest names in the industry. She didn't just participate, she caught the attention of people who mattered. Soon, runways that most models dream of walking in their late 20s opened for her in her teens. By 18, she was already striding confidently for Dolce & Gabbana and Chanel, names that immediately put her in the global spotlight.
I'm just the assistant.
I'm Steph. Can you hold my bag, please? Sorry.
Prada baby.
What followed was a career that very few managed to achieve at such a young age. Vogue covers across multiple countries cemented her status as one of the leading models of her generation. The biggest fashion houses, Versace, Dior, Prada, and Fendi, chose her for their campaigns. Proof that she wasn't just passing through, but building real staying power. In an industry where careers can vanish almost as quickly as they start, Vittoria was building something rare: longevity. By her early 20s, she was no longer just a rising star. She was part of the elite circle of models who shaped the global fashion landscape.
I don't have the girliest style. I have my moments, but I love to be comfortable. I really love this outfit. I love my baggy pants. I love my sneakers.
And yet, for all her accomplishments, her name never commanded the same global attention as it did once she was spotted with Leonardo DiCaprio. The first sighting came in August 2023, when paparazzi captured them grabbing ice cream in California. At first, people thought little of it. Leonardo had been photographed with plenty of young models before, and the story often fizzled out quickly. But then came more images, parties, events, late-night outings. By early 2024, it was clear this wasn't a one-time meeting. They kept appearing together, from fashion weeks to Hollywood gatherings, and each new photograph only fueled the whispers. The moment everything changed came in May 2025, when they walked the red carpet together at the Met Gala. That was no coincidence.
I'd like to be everything you want.
The Met Gala isn't just another event. It's one of the most watched stages in the world, a place where fashion, celebrity, and image collide. For Leonardo and Vittoria to appear there as a couple was a declaration. Within weeks, photographs from their Mediterranean getaway confirmed it further. No longer hiding from the cameras, they were open, holding hands, kissing on a yacht, letting the world see what had been building quietly for nearly 2 years. But being with Leonardo DiCaprio comes with more than glamour. It means being drawn into one of the most documented and criticized dating histories in Hollywood. For years, his relationships have been tracked with almost mathematical precision, with the so-called 25-year rule becoming a meme in its own right. The observation was simple. DiCaprio seemed to only date women in their early 20s, and rarely, if ever, stayed with them past their 25th birthday. The examples became case studies.
Looks like an Oreo cookie.
This is the end of the line.
Not for you.
Gisele Bündchen dated him from age 20 to 25, Bar Raffaelli from 20 to 25, Blake Lively at 23, Tony Garn between 21 and 22, Nina Agdal at 24, and Camilla Morrone, who entered the relationship at 20 and split shortly after turning 25. Each time, the cycle repeated so predictably that fans didn't just notice it, they joked about it endlessly. Reddit charts, Twitter memes, late-night comedy routines, Leonardo's rule became cultural shorthand. Yet behind the humor, there has always been criticism. Why, people asked, Does an older man consistently date women at such a specific age range? Was it simply preference, or did it reveal something deeper about power and influence? Sociologists pointed out that DiCaprio's world naturally exposed him to younger women, especially since the modeling industry peaks in the late teens and early 20s.
Talking about our first interview, that may have been 30 years ago.
What do you want to do before you turn 50?
Good question.
Hollywood itself normalized older men with younger partners by pairing them on screen repeatedly. But critics also highlighted the imbalance. A 50-year-old man with wealth, power, and influence stands in stark contrast to a woman just beginning her independent adult life. This is where Vittoria's presence changes the story slightly, or at least appears to. At 27, she's older than the supposed cutoff, sparking conversations that maybe, just maybe, DiCaprio had finally broken his own pattern. Some saw this as a genuine shift, evidence that the meme had lost its predictive power. But others were quick to point out that the age gap remained massive. A 23-year difference was hardly insignificant. The debate, as one cultural critic put it, was less about math and more about meaning. The pattern wasn't just about birthdays, it was about the cultural messages those birthdays represented.
At first. Oh, we were just joking around. She's got the best sense of humor. And then I knew when she was mentioned for this movie, I was like, this girl's gonna bring the heat. Yeah.
Critics counter that the recurring age gap pattern matters, suggesting it shapes cultural norms in unsettling ways. The debate also exposes double standards. Older male stars like George Clooney or Al Pacino face lighter scrutiny, while women like Priyanka Chopra with Nick Jonas are labeled with stereotypes instead of sustained criticism. For DiCaprio, though, the meme never fades. His name remains tied to the same narrative no matter the partner. Complicating things further is DiCaprio's own image. For years, he has been more than just an actor. He's been an activist, an outspoken voice on climate change, a public figure who has tied himself to responsibility and accountability. That image of responsibility makes the contrast with his personal life even sharper. As one columnist put it, you can't campaign for global responsibility while your own personal narrative feeds a meme about predictability and power imbalances without drawing scrutiny. For DiCaprio, the question isn't whether his career will survive, it almost certainly will. Past relationships sparked similar storms, and yet his films continued to dominate box offices. His status as one of Hollywood's greats never wavered. But culture has shifted. The Me Too era reframed conversations about power and consent. Social media gave everyone a platform to critique or parody celebrity behavior. Generational values changed, with younger audiences far less willing to shrug off patterns that older fans once treated as harmless. In that sense, what once rolled off his back might cling longer now, shaping how he's remembered beyond his movies.
Ti piace Venezia?
For Vittoria, the calculus is different. On one hand, being with DiCaprio has elevated her visibility beyond fashion. She's not just appearing in campaigns or Vogue spreads, she's part of mainstream celebrity conversation. Her profile has grown, her recognition has expanded, and she has stepped into spaces like the Met Gala with a bigger spotlight than ever before. But the risk is equally real. Being linked to Leonardo DiCaprio means battling a narrative that wants to flatten her into just another chapter in his dating history. She has spoken in interviews about protecting her identity and refusing to be reduced to someone's girlfriend. But the challenge is ongoing. Every headline risks erasing her career and replacing it with his. And that is the deeper story here. This isn't just about one couple. It's about what their relationship reflects back to us. The way fame, privilege, gender, and power collide under the bright lights of celebrity culture. It's about how private choices become public verdicts, and how narratives, once established, are harder to rewrite than a headline. Vittoria Ceretti is not just another name on a list, and Leonardo DiCaprio is not just another actor with a new romance. Together, they've become a cultural flashpoint, a mirror of the conversation society is having about age, agency, and what we expect from those at the very top of fame. And as for what happens next, that remains uncertain. For now, the jokes continue, the debates grow louder, and both DiCaprio and Ceretti are navigating a relationship in the harshest spotlight imaginable. But whether this is the chapter that changes the story, or simply another page in the same book, is a question only time will answer. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more stories behind the headlines of celebrity life.